up, you guys? My name is DemonFlip84, and welcome to an in-depth tutorial on how to install and run Wrath of the Gods in DOSBox running Windows 3.1. This is a complicated process to do, but once you follow this instructions correctly, you will be able to play the game and learn how to use DOSBox if you haven't used it before. DOSBox is basically an emulator that emulates older PC games. So this is a pretty fun emulator to use, especially running old games like Cross Country USA, Mario's Teaches Typing, Word Munchers, and all that. So we're gonna be playing the game Wrath of the Gods. It's an educational game based on myth mythologies, and it's really fun. I used to play back then, middle school, around 97, 98, but the game originally came out in 94. The game is pretty fun, but it has like a lot of terrible voice acting and all that. But we're going to I'm going to walk you guys through it and how to install it. If you guys remember it, we're just gonna do it for the nostalgia of it. So what you need first is to download and install DOSBox in your computer. So the computer I'm using Windows 7 Home Edition. If you have any other ones, it should probably work as well. I don't know about Windows 8, honestly. Once you have that installed, I'm going to require you guys to go do a Google search and find these other stuff to download. I would link you guys to those websites, but due to legal terms and issues that I might be seeing later on, I'd rather have you guys do a Google search. They're not hard to find in the world of the internet. They're really easy to find. It took me probably 10 minutes to find some of these stuff. What you need is the Microsoft Windows 3.1. What I have is 3.11 retail version, and it comes in a form of floppy disk. And originally it comes in six image files that you will need to extract data from. And in order to extract data, I use 7-zip because that's the only program that I know that it will extract image data, or from an image extract data from an image file. And you extract it, it'll be extracted in individual folders. And then what I did afterwards was pretty much transfer all those files into one folder, and I renamed it to Win31 for short, for Windows 3.1. I shortened it for DOSBox, and I'll explain why in a little bit. Next, you need to find Quicktime for Windows 3. This is the latest version of the Quicktime that you will need to do. Next is the video drivers for Windows 3. It's called S3. That's what you need to find. And then next, you need to install the audio in Windows 3, which is called Sound Blaster 16. That's what you need to find as well. And last but not least, the game Wrath of the Gods. This is what the ISO file looks like. 2 folders, one setup and one Wrath, the game data. If you happen to find a download that contains the .bin, then you will need to download a program tool called Power ISO, and then extract the .bin file from it, and you will get this. So once you have all that set up, then what we need to do next is I've already organized it into a file already just for this video purpose, but if you have it downloaded somewhere, just make sure you have access to it. You're going to hit start, go to your computer, and go to your C drive. And in the root directory of your C drive, we're going to create a new folder, and we're going to name it DOS. Now, once it's created, you gotta open the DOS folder, and we're going to drag and drop into the DOS folder. I'm going to do a copy and paste in my case because I want to save this stuff for future preferences. So Once you have the data extracted in for Windows 3 and put it into one folder, we're going to copy that into the DOS folder, and then copy Quicktime to the DOS folder, then copy the video driver to the DOS folder, Sound Blaster to the DOS folder, and the game Wrath of the Gods into the DOS folder. Okay, so you should have 5 of these in the DOS folder. Before we do anything else, we need to run it through DOSBox. And the problem with DOSBox is that it only recognizes up to 8 characters when it reads it. So you won't be able to run some of the folders because they have a longer name. So we're going to shorten it. So we're going to rename some of them to make it easier. So for QuickTime, we're going to rename it QT. For the video driver, we're going to rename it to S3. For the Sound Blaster 16, we're going to name it to SB16. And this is the reason why I shorten it to Win31 for Windows 3.1. And Wrath of the Gods, this is optional, but I'm going to do it anyways. Rename this, we're going to shorten it to Gods. Because we will be installing this through Windows 3.1 once we have it installed. So you should have something like this. You are ready to go and use DOSBox. So you open the program DOSBox, and this is basically like a command prompt, and you have to enter some commands to get some things to run. If you're not familiar with this, do not be afraid. I will guide you guys through it. If you guys are new. Before we do anything, we're going to increase the CPU speed to make things faster. So you hold down left control and keep tapping F12 to increase the speed by intervals. Try to take it to the max, all the way to the highest. In my case, I took off the cap, and I could take it to however fast I want. I'm gonna take it up to 30,000 for me, but yours should be capped up to 20,000, and you cannot get any higher than that unless you changed something in the file. Once you take that to the highest, then we're going to enter this command. We're going to mount the drive into a folder. So to do that, enter this mount C, and then C:\\DOS. That's the file that we want to mount to. And then if you get this message, you've done it correctly. If you get a different message, then you have to redo that again. Next is that we're going to change the virtual drive Z to C. And then once it's changed, then we get to we're officially inside the DOS folder. We're going to be installing Windows 3.1 right now, so we need to go to the Win31 folder. To do that, we have to change the directory. So to change it, you hit CD for change directory, then space Win31, and it will take you inside Windows 31 or Windows 3.1 or Win31. To run the .exe file, you need to enter setup and hit enter, and it should run the program. Enter to continue, and then we're going to enter again to do an express setup. And it's going to copy the files and install Windows 3.1. And just like starting up starting a new Windows program, it asks you to enter some information about your system. And you don't have to, you could put any name. I'm just naming my system right now. Hit continue to verify, and it's going to complete the installation process here. And then install with no printers attached. And we're gonna skip tutorial. And this is important. You're gonna have to reboot. And what this actually does, it's gonna kick you off of DOSBox. And we just installed Windows 3.1 in DOSBox. And to show you guys that, go back to your DOS folder that we created, and there's a new folder that we created through DOSBox called Windows. And this is basically it right here. This is your Windows 3.1 system files. So we're gonna open up DOSBox again. We will be extracting stuff from the Quicktime folder and installing the sound blasters for Windows 3.1. So first things first, hold down left click to increase the speed and hit F12. Take it to the highest you can, because it does speed things along when you're installing this stuff. Okay, we're gonna mount C, and then we're gonna mount it to the DOS folder, and then from there we're going to change the drive to C, and then we're gonna go into the QuickTime. So if you remember, we renamed it to QT, so we're gonna change directory to QT and type in install. And what this does is actually extracting the install.exe into more files, and this will be necessary once we get into Windows 3.1. Once you have that extracted, then you're pretty much done with that for now. We want to get out of the QT folder, so to do that, you hit CD for change directory and enter 2 dots and enter, and it will take you out of there. We're going to change directory again. This time we're going to go into the Sound Blasters folder. So change directory to SB16, because that's the folder that we named. Enter, and right now we're in the Sound Blasters folder. And then you type in install and enter. Alright, so try to follow this step exactly. So hit enter to continue. Then we're going to do a full installation. So it's already highlighted. Hit enter. And in this screen here, using the arrows on the keyboard, click down until you highlight Microsoft Windows 3.1 path. Hit enter. And it should be already highlighted in C drive Windows. This is fine. Hit enter, and you pretty much have all your information changed. It will be installing on the Windows to the Windows 3.1 in the Windows folder. So hit enter to continue. Type Y to continue. And in this screen, using the arrows on the keyboard, make sure you highlight interrupt setting, enter, and then we're gonna change the interrupted settings to 7 instead of the default, and hit enter to continue. And it will be installing the files to the Windows folder that we created for Windows 3.1. Once it gets to the screen, with the arrows on the keyboard, highlight proceed to continue. And once you're in this screen here, we're going to reboot. Basically, we're going to just kind of restart it. It will kick us off of DOSBox. And we just officially installed the Sound Blaster to Windows 3.1. So once again, open DOSBox. First things first, we're going to increase the speed to the highest possible. And then we're going to mount to the DOS folder. change the C drive to C, and this time we're going to go into the Windows folder right now. So change directory to Windows, and once you're in the Windows folder, we're going to type in Win to start the Windows 3.1 program. And this is what it actually looks like. This is very old Windows programming and navigating. So to navigate and close some of these windows here, the upper left corner, just click on the dash, and then just click on close to close some of these programs. In the main window here, we're going to be installing Quicktime. So double click on Windows Setup. Actually, we're going to be doing we're going to update the video drivers first. So in Windows Setup, you go to here once this window pops up. The current display right now is on VGA. We're going to go Options, change System Settings, and then right in this, under Display, click down the drop down and take it all the way down to where it says Other Displays. And once you're in here, we're going to direct it to our S3 folder. So to do that, type in C:\S3, hit enter, and it gives you a couple of options to choose from. But we're going to use the recommended one, which is the 800 by 600 256 colors LF. Click OK, and then click OK again. And it'll take you back to this screen here. We're going to exit because we're going to do this process twice. And click yes, and then go back into the Windows setup. And as you can see, nothing's changed. We're going to do this process once again. Click on Other Display, and then direct it to the S3 folder, and select the display of our choice. Click OK, and then OK once again, and you will get this message here. And click Current to basically replace with the S3 S3 video card. And we just changed it. Notice that it's a little bit different now. To make sure that is changed, just go to Windows Setup, and the display is changed to S3 instead of VGA. So we gotta close this window. We're done with updating the video driver for now. Next, we're gonna be in the Program Manager window. We're gonna be installing Quicktime. So go to File, go to Run. We're gonna be browsing for that folder. So under Directories, double click C to go back, and then look for Quicktime. And we will be using the qtinstall.exe file to run the program. This is what we created in DOSBox. And hit OK, and this will come up and install. Start. It will recognize a couple of folders and files to delete. We're just going to delete some of those and replace them. Install. And we just installed the updated version of QuickTime for Windows 3.1. So we're going to exit and yes to skip the sample movie. So we're done with that. Close this window. Last but not least, we're going to install the game Wrath of the Gods. So in the Program Manager window, go to File, Run. We're going to browse for that folder. So under Directories, go back a file by double clicking C, and then double click Gods, double click Setup, and then run the setup.exe file. Hit OK to install. And installation is complete already, and you should have the window Wrath of the Gods already open. Double click it to run the program. And if you made it this far, congratulations. You have officially installed Wrath of the Gods using Windows 3.1 running DOSBox. Uh, that's pretty much it. You get to play this game and just remember it through nostalgia if you played this game before. But if not, this is a really fun game. It's an educational game. It's a point-and-click adventure, a lot of clues and all that stuff. And it's myth mythologies you'll come across with a lot of these mythical creatures and all that stuff. So we're gonna do a sample introduction just to make sure everything is correct. If you get any type of errors, if you decide to skip some of my steps, you will have some errors along the way. But this is just a little test to show you guys that this actually works. Now, there are two methods to run Wrath of the Gods. The method that we use is using through DOSBox. The other method is using a virtual PC. And having gone the virtual PC route because it requires you to obtain the physical disc or copy of the Windows version that you want to use. So that's why I haven't gone to that route. I can imagine that route is a lot easier than what we did here, but this is a sure thing that it actually works with DOSBox.
And how is my grandson today? Growing stronger, I perceive. Surely the father is some great hero. Why won't you tell me his name, my daughter? Be that as it may, the time has come to consult the Oracle of Delphi. It's not every day that a child is born into the royal house.
The acting is kind of lame and it's funny at the same time, but the cutscenes are just like what makes this game great, I think.
Within your lifetime, O High King of Mycenae, this child shall rule in your place.
Rule in my place? Never!
Well, my boy, I've done all I can for you. I've raised you in the ways of beasts and men. Take this ring. It was in your blanket when I found you. And these gems might come in handy. Now it's time for you to make your way in the world. Venture forth, find your true parents, and prove yourself. This is the hero's path.
Alright, so I'll do a little gameplay here. I will be doing a full gameplay, probably be streaming this live on twitch.tv/DemonFlip84. That is my Twitch channel, so expect that sometime this week. I will be uploading that to YouTube eventually as well. So yeah, this is a point-and-click adventure. There's a lot of clues and quests that you need to do in order to progress through the game. I haven't gone too far in this game because the last time I actually played this was back in middle school, and this was back in 97, 98.
That don't seem to be getting you nowhere.
But like I said, the acting is pretty funny here. I'm gonna actually take you to this guy that's in the next area. Thought this was hilarious on his acting part.
Dark is the wrath of the undying gods, plundering the mortals who would face their plagues. I'll guide you for a gem, but beware, the Hydra lurks ahead.
We're gonna give this guy a gem.
Okay, let's go before I chicken out.
And we're gonna, I'm gonna actually go up to the Hydra Um, so yeah, that's all it is to it. You're probably playing this game right now. Let me know if you like this tutorial by leaving a like, comment on this video, or a like on this video, and comment, letting me know that you did it. And there's the Hydra right there. Obviously, you need to kill it to progress, and you need a torch, I think, to kill it. Get a lead because it's kind of loud. Yeah, so that is it, guys. Once again, I appreciate for supporting me by leaving a like on this video and comment, letting me know that you've done this, done the process correctly. If you have any other questions, let me know in the comment section. I will try to answer them as best I can. And subscribe to my channel for any videos, tutorials. This is my first tutorial, by the way. But I've done some tutorials in the past on my older YouTube account. But this is a real first real tutorial that I've done. It's pretty pretty long, 30 minutes long, I think. And yeah, subscribe to my channel for more videos like this and other videos that I do on my channel. That is it, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.